Ladies and gentlemen, Rex Bear Elite Project. How the heck are you? I just have to hit the mute button here, or we're going to get an echo, echo, echo. I've got Heidi V and Trisha G today. We're going to get deep into the Vedic star charts and numerology of Charles Manson. Now, this guy is a trip. I just watched some of a podcast that Jeff Doherty did. I didn't have the chance to watch the whole thing, the Christian Whistleblower, and he was discussing some of the possibilities of Manson being a patsy, like actually wanting to be in prison. And he was talking about some of the possibilities, how the Manson murders and some of the events that were unfolding around that time frame are actually to get rid of the hippie movement, to get rid of the anti-war protesters. So it's very interesting. But thank you so much for coming on the show, ladies. It's great to talk with both of you. I'm kind of on vacation right now, so that's why there's a different background. This isn't going to be a 3-hour show like it normally is. It's going to be about an hour. And after we discuss deep the Charles Manson numerology and Vedic star charts, then we're going to do live readings at the second half of the show. So if you want to get put on top of the list, you guys know how fast it picks up. Hit that super chat button and you'll get put on top of the list. So thanks a lot for coming on the show. How the heck are you?
Great.
Fantastic. You know, it's just another beautiful day in paradise today, let me tell you. Real excited to be where I'm at right now in Austin, Texas. So what is going on with the stars? What do the stars say about Charles Manson?
All right, I guess I'll start. Well, I've been studying his chart for a decent amount of time today. So I kind of have, I'm going to send you, I'm going to share my screen real quick so you can see what I'm looking at. You know, I heard last night Jeff did part 1 and I watched a little bit, but then I fell asleep because it was on at 3 in the morning. So, you know, I heard a little bit. I've heard that there's a little bit of a conspiracy, you could say, with it, but I'm going to tell you. So I'll just tell you how I would read his chart. Okay. Because this is his time, and his birth certificate apparently is being auctioned off. So he's in Aries ascendant, okay, and it's in the nakshatra of Aswani, and it's Pada 4. So an Aries ascendant, you know, that's going to be a go-getter, somebody that kind of is quick on their feet, quick comprehension. He's short, athletic. I'm pretty sure he's very short. He looks very short in the videos. It definitely can be aggression and firmness. It's ruled by K2, so you know, this right here is just, it's like trailblazers, strong-minded, strong head. Uranus in the first house makes you rebellious. But then we go to his 4th house. His 4th house is K2. Issues with the mother, lack of motherly feeling, all that stuff, lack of happiness, no fulfillment. And I'm trying to do this kind of fast. So then we go to the 5th house right here. This is his 5th house. And his 5th house has Mars in it. The first lord goes into the 5th house. His Mars is in Purva Falguni, and that nakshatra is can get violent. It's the oversexed one. It's the swindling, you know, so it's definitely the sketchy part of Leo, if there is a sketchy part of Leo. And it's ruled by Venus. It really doesn't like Mars, so that's another thing. Okay, then his 7th house. He's got Sun, Venus, Jupiter, Mercury. Do you know whose chart this looks like? Hillary Clinton's. Look, ready? Look at all these planets she has in Vishaka. So
you just look at it.
When I say that, you know, I mean, that's the first one I thought of. It was her. Okay. So Vishaka is like personal breakthroughs, people that can be very liberal or extremists anyway. So, you know, with him having all these planets conjunct, Sun, Venus, and now this is why he was very artistic, why he was really good with music, but, you know, it goes both ways. This is also why he sold women for sex. He was sold the girls for prostitutes because his Venus being in the 7th house, it's like trading women. I've actually done another chart of somebody actually in prison for sex, getting in trouble for selling girls. And long story, can't explain how. And he had a chart look just like this too. All right, and then we go to his 10th house. This is what threw me off. Moon, Rahu, Sun conjunct. So I don't see anything in his 12th house. 12th house are jails. He spent his whole life in jail. But if you look at his divisional charts, which I can't go that far right now, but right here, divisional charts, planets in the 12th, Navamsha chart, K2 conjunct Mars, that can be very violent. This is all intertwined. And then also he has Moon, Rahu, Sun, or Saturn conjunct. And let me tell you, the 10th house is power, status, fame. It's your ego. It's your career. It's also just, you know, how you are in the public. So when you have your Moon and Rahu there, and that's like somebody that's obsessed with being famous, especially in Capricorn. And I've heard him say he was the devil and all that stuff. Capricorn is the devil card. Okay, there's a dark side of Capricorn, guys. There really is. And and it's all about law and order, but throw Rahu there with that, conjunct his Moon the way he thinks. He's a dictator. I mean, that's just the way it is. He looks like a politician. He looks like one of the people that are in office, like the Podestas. His Moon and Rahu is in Sravana. Guess who else has their Moon, or they have planets in that? John Podesta. Look at this. Same things. I mean, it's really actually kind of amazing.
You took your screen down.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
I
called him a dictator earlier. That was the exact word I used for this guy, dictator.
Okay, and real quick, I'm just going to say, and then, so I kind of thought, well, you know, maybe he is about these girls. I looked at all the women's charts that went to jail, that are in jail, and the one that passed away, okay? And the Tex Watson. Real quick to sum it up, his Rahu and Venus, this Tex Watson, are on that guy, on Manson's Venus. So that's right there. Also, all these planets in Scorpio, this guy, I mean, you can see why all these women were obsessed with him. Susan's Atkins, her Moon was in Swanee, and she had K2 in Vishaka. Like, if you just look at these patterns, they're all intertwined together. Linda, Moon in a Swanee, once again. So their Moon is into his first house. There's a connection there, following him. That's why they listened to everything he said. And then Patricia, she had K2 in Vishaka, which is all those planets like Hillary has that I just said. So, I mean, it's there. He's crazy. And then last thing I'm going to say, the day he died, or Sunday night. Look at this. I always say, everybody worries about 8th house being a death transit house. It's not. I always say the 7th house. I've noticed my brother died with 7th house transits, my grandmother, everybody. And look at this. Jupiter conjunct Venus in the 7th, day he died. His Moon was in the 8th in Scorpio. Once again, 8th house is a death house, so it is getting triggered. And then this Rahu K2 return. I always tell everybody, be careful on that Rahu K2 return. This is obviously a different story. This is a little bit different, but it 100% aligns big time. So he's a real person, I would assume. And, you know, all these women and all the men, I keep wanting to call them Rex, Tex, Watson, they all are aligned. One thing else I'm going to say about his ascendant nakshatra, his ascendant nakshatra is in a Swanee pot of 4. And literally, my notes say this. People born under this are learning the science of the body very quickly. They have tremendous interest in fixing and dissecting the body. The nakshatra produces most physicians and doctors. So you see how this goes this way. But then you get the loose cannon, like the Manson or anything. He doesn't have the slaughtering there, but he has the want to slaughter, for sure. Not do the acts. It's not there. But he actually, the 8th Lord goes into the 7th, which would be why he has those people do all the killing for him. So it's all there.
Yeah.
Done. He did it. He's a sketchball. He was a manipulative jerk. He was not a good person. You could call him a patsy. He either worked with the people like that, you know, maybe he was friends with them. Who the hell knows? But I don't think so. He stayed in jail the whole time.
Wow, that's some great connections there, Heidi. Fantastic job. Much appreciated. I'm looking through the comments section and somebody said, wow, Heidi did her homework. She does if I give her more than 15 minutes to come on the show.
I had a nice presentation too, so I'm going to have to make a show on this on mine because I have everybody's charts all aligned. So when we have more time, we're going to do this because this is a good chart to do. We have his time.
And his mother's interesting as well.
So,
which I feel is part of the big picture. Sorry.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just going to say, Trisha, what are you seeing? What are the numbers saying?
Well, he's a master number 22-4. So if you were going to, the word I used earlier, and I wasn't speaking to Heidi, was dictator. That's the word I got for him in my head. He's a 22-4. Now that's a master builder. This proves It can be used for good or it can be used for bad. So the weaknesses, I am reading my notes: controlling, inflexible, workaholic, self-destructive, awkward, arrogant, stubborn, demanding, self-righteous, and lazy. He got other people to do his dirty work for him. This is the weaker side of it. And that, somebody like Richard Branson, Bill Gates, not everybody approves of Bill Gates, but they've gone on to do some good stuff as well. The fact he wanted to be incarcerated and didn't want to come out, in a way, they don't like change. They like structure. It's like it's a Capricorn number. So, and you mentioned Capricorn, didn't you?
Yeah, he's got 3 planets in Capricorn. So
he would like the structure. He would like the discipline, ironically. So he probably, in a weird way, loved being, well, not loved, that's probably the wrong word.
He felt comfortable in jail. He didn't have a family. He grew up in a prison too. So think about that. He was in jail 15 years of his entire life when he was young. So
his childhood was predominantly incarcerated. And when you look at his mother and the way, and her, I mean, it's a recipe for, he could have been really powerful in a good way, but I feel sadly his childhood produced a monster.
And his jealousy. I think his jealousy, where he was so wanted that power to be famous. The fact that he couldn't get it is why he did that. That's why he killed them. He has that in that chart.
He could have been famous for good reasons, but it was, and he is about 5'2" or 3. So, that can have a big effect on man, can't it, about power and status. And his karmic debt is the number 13. Death card. Is the death card 13? It is, isn't it?
I don't know. I forget.
Pretty sure the death card's 13.
Yeah.
He had an expression number 8, which is about power, being the boss, being the manager, being in charge. Heart's desire, which threw me, is a 9, which is my life path number, which is the humanitarian. So.
Okay, let me tell you what. Think about this, Trisha. He really did feel like he was helping those women.
Yeah.
He really did. He felt like they were all in a horrible spot. He had a good intention. Even him selling them, he thought he was doing a good business, like he was doing them better than what they were in. He really, in his mind, I think, believed that. Good old Rahu illusions.
Yeah, and his personality number was 8. So we've got 2 8s there, which is, again, on the negative side, can be domineering, like a dictator, bossy, greedy. That's the negative side. Not everybody that 8s. So with those, that 22-4, and it's like workaholic. It's like, even though he might not have been a workaholic in his job, it certainly was. And I'm not surprised he didn't do the killings. He got everyone to do his dirty work for him. But mother issues, massive. I mean, his mother was a life path number 5. I'm just going to quickly go on to that, but this could go a lot deeper. She just totally was irresponsible. I mean, she was only 16 when she had him, and not every 16-year-old mother is going to be. She was life path number 5. Now, again, I don't want all the number 5s out there to be offended, but if any life path number out of them that's going to be irresponsible, and they call it the rebel, is the 5. And for a 4 child, that's got to be one of the worst. They need structure. They need a structured home environment. They don't like lots of change. That would have been his absolute worst nightmare, his upbringing.
Yeah, and that's in his chart, with him wanting to be around others and being he's not a loner.
No, he'd need the discipline, structure, and she did not give him that. She was the complete opposite. Yeah. Just to put it in a nutshell.
Let me jump in real quick, because I remember, Heidi, you told me several months ago about that reading that you did. You said that you did a reading for somebody. You didn't say who, but you said that you did a reading for somebody that had some opportunities. And now you're bringing this person up, and so you're saying that they had a very similar chart to Charles Manson?
Yeah, a lot of. I mean,
wow.
Literally, I've done probably 5
Bazinga! Next time you apply for a job, make sure to get your full birth date. I'm sorry, please continue. That's just crazy, Heidi. I mean, that's wild.
Because here's the thing: if Charles Manson was brought up in India, guarantee you he would have been a doctor. Surgeon, because the mother wouldn't have
made you successful.
Yeah, swear to God, he would have been probably some crazy surgeon, or he would have been maybe, who knows, one of the leaders of India. That's the point. You are brought up in different different vicinities, it changes things, like different cultures. And, you know, in the United States, chances are.
Apparently his best childhood memory was the day his mother got out of prison. She went to prison with her brother. The best childhood memory is the day she gave him a hug, coming out of prison. Then she discarded him again. Can you imagine what that must do to a man, a boy?
You know, and this is where I look at things and get sad, because I feel like if that poor guy, because he did all this theft, and that's that Aries action moon, you know, just or ascendant, just go, 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 go. Like, he really could have done powerful things. He is a freaking genius. He is a master manipulator.
Yeah.
How to sell anything to anybody, create anything, artists all over the place.
Come on,
I mean, it's pretty crazy. He would have been a great astrologer. He would have been a great psychologist, believe it or not. Freaking
and that's what I think he was doing. In his interviews, he was telling everybody what they wanted to hear. Like a psychopath knows what you want to hear. He was a psychopath. I mean,
and like, I can't overstress this moon conjunct Rahu and how much this really does something. And, you know, depending on what type of sign and what nakshatra it's in, it can go one way or the highway. Like, if that was moon K2 in Capricorn, different beast. Rahu's expansions, explosions, innovation, taboo breaker. It's the thing that gets you in trouble. It's what you're obsessed with. It's in this sign of power. With Saturn, I mean, in conjunct the moon, it couldn't be any more obsessed with fame and power, control. Power and control.
The fact he used women to do his dirty work, it wasn't really many men. It was more women, wasn't it, than men? I mean, I didn't know that much about him, but not the nitty gritty stuff anyway. So, I mean, that must be huge mother issues there, surely.
Yeah. And that nakshatra Vishaka that Hillary has in planets, it's very revengeful, jealous. And all those, that artistic side of him is in there. And his Saturn is in the nakshatra of Denistha. Denistha is the musician. Okay, it's somebody that's great at it. It's the part of Capricorn that is the musician. Marching to your own beat of your drum. All these musicians come out of it. But Saturn's there restricting it. So he wasn't allowed to have it. You know what I mean? That's the problem with Saturn there, with the moon and Rahu, why he lost it. I really do believe that he, no joke, killed those people, not for like mind control, blah, 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 whatever. I really believe he was mad that the Beach Boy guys and the people that he hung out with, all that crew, that he wasn't famous, and they were. Kind of like Elvis's killer, you know? I mean, it's or Charles or Charlie, whatever. So it's like that obsession.
Let me jump in and ask a question. Do the charts show, or any of the data show, that he might be a good candidate for either a patsy or a tool for an alphabet agency?
He's too smart to be a tool. He's like the CEO of one of those agencies.
Okay. So he would have known full well what he was doing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He either was so psychotic that he was just so off or, you know, so control. Whoever starts a cult, you have control problems. Let's be honest. I mean, these women said they weren't allowed to do anything, only listen to certain songs, only the Beatles, like weird stuff that you could tell was like jealous, envious things. You know, they had to play these little plays and in his way, everything had to be on his terms. So, and, you know, people that I know somebody that's in jail for doing that, you know, like he was helping women. He thought he was, because they were all on heroin or whatever. And he thought he was doing them a favor by making them money and stuff and providing them a home, like being a pimp, you know?
My grandfather on my mother's side was a 22-4, and he was like, he preached one thing and did the complete opposite, and he had to have electric shock treatment a lot. I mean, can you imagine? He was quite a tyrant dictator.
Yeah,
not on that scale, but
you know who else has
have you guys ever tried electroshock therapy?
No.
I'm just saying.
Don't
knock it until you try it.
We're talking a long, long time ago, though, when my grandfather must have had it, like, I don't know, 40s. Vex is muted.
I did touch a dog.
Thank goodness I muted, because if I wasn't, you'd actually hear what I was saying. And
I put a dog collar on to see if it really, because somebody was.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not the electric ones, you know, the shock collars.
Oh yeah, I know what you meant.
At a point that it hurt, and I was like, don't, because I hate when people put those on dogs.
Oh, they're horrible. You tried that?
Yeah. Because everybody's like, oh, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. I'm like, oh, really?
I wouldn't put it on a dog. No way.
Yeah. You know, another interesting thing I do want to say that Alice Crawley, right?
Aleister Crowley.
Yeah. His chart in a way reminds me of Charles Manson. Like there's certain connections. Both of them have their Saturn in Denise, then like the 10th house. So this Denise is very creative. So, you know, Crawley might have had a little artistic side to him. Obviously he did. He made, you know, esoteric type of person. But he had 2 planets in Capricorn too, and it was Mars and Saturn, which is like, so that's kind of the point, you know, that's those control tendencies, however they go, you know, can be
they're psychic as well. 22/4s. It's a visionary, so it's actually a very psychic life path number.
Yeah.
Let me ask a question. Do you guys have information onto actually, I'm sure this is easily available, I just don't know the whole story. Why did Charles Manson have those people? What was the official story that he had some people kill other people?
Well, he said that he didn't do it. He didn't admit it. He said, you know, he just told them to do what they wanted to do. The reason why he lived in this ranch, this farm thing, was to, you know, just to help everybody, to have this little commune. Because some of the girls, their dads were strict or whatever, just dads kicked him out, one was on drugs, just however they ended up meeting him. And he was very hypnotic to them. He like spoke to them and schmoozed them and said, hey, your dad just kicked you out of the house and stuff, huh? And then he would captivate people. And he has 2 planets in Swati. And this Vishaka Swati and that Capricorn moon rock, this is somebody that can literally just freaking schmooze, because he's like the minister, like the guru in a way. Like there's part of his chart looks like a priest, you know? So the leaders, the cults, the people that that you have all this.
The heart's desire, the 9, is like someone who could be like a priest or, you know, I don't know. I actually don't know a lot about the whole background to it. So I wanted to go on it purely from a numerological basis.
But here's the deal. We want to say he's a priest, but look, he's got that in Capricorn. Capricorns aren't religious. That's like the devil. That's like the state. That's what I think of the Satanism stuff. Yeah. Is the Capricorn sign. People that do the rituals, people that do all that stuff that, you know.
I feel we could simplify it, and perhaps he was just so angry at women. He was going to use women to get back at his, because of his mother. Maybe quite just simple as that.
Yeah. Very
but not every person under those circumstances would have even gone on to that level. So there may be other factors, or his brain, you don't know.
Well,
I mean, he had no name as well. That was the other thing. He was no name Maddox when he wasn't even given a name at first. Like, what does that say about, you know, that would make you feel like you were nobody, wouldn't it, from day one? I don't even have a name.
Well, and I heard some of the things that he said, like some of the speeches he gave, and he was like, yeah, everybody has powers. He goes, and everybody has powers, and it's just if they're aware or not. So he knew, like, the way he could captivate people and the way he could do the things and way he could convince people. And I think maybe when you have Moon and Rahu conjunct, it's schizophrenic. Maybe one day he was in a good mood, one day he was in a bad mood. One day he actually thought he had really good intentions, and another day he just snaps. This is this is the schizophrenic.
Yeah.
The bipolar person, and especially Saturn, throw that in the wrench. That's like the highest high, the lowest low. The highest high, the lowest low. And emotion, like that person, I couldn't consider dating somebody or married to somebody with that conjunct, knowing that, because their minds will be like on the move, switch.
I wouldn't even want to be near him, you know.
Yeah.
And he says that he, you know, he loved, and he didn't have, what was it in wanting to, he didn't have feelings. I feel he probably did, he just so detached. you know, made out he was healed from about his mother. I don't believe any of that.
He was narcissistic. He had feelings for himself. Yeah, he was the person that, like, I swear to God, I can't describe it any better. Hillary Clinton. Okay, he reminds me of her. You know, joining, making these groups like coincide against each other to start all this stuff. You know, just like that. And then to do the dirty work. Look, she doesn't, you know, see how she doesn't do anything. She gets everybody else to do all the dirty work for her. You know, she goes out and she schmoozes people. She's, you know, it's like the master manipulator right here.
And that's what narcissists, don't they? Yeah. They get you to do the flying monkeys.
Yeah.
To do their dirty work.
Absolutely.
Did you say flying monkeys?
Yeah.
Nice. I haven't heard. That's good. I haven't heard that in a while. And I want to say thank you, everybody, for being here in the chat. And this show isn't going to go on as long as it normally does. A lot of times when Heidi's on the show, last time Trisha was on the show, I think we went over 3 hours. So we're probably going to be about an hour total with this show. We're going to do some readings for the audience here in a few minutes. I noticed a few people hit that live or that super chat. Thank you very much for that. One thing that I'd be interested to know about with Manson, because I know that we're not going to have time to do all the charts like you put together. I know we'll do a show on this in the future. You'll definitely do this on channel 27, and hopefully Trisha will join you as well. His followers that were doing the dirty work, were their charts similar to his? What were they like?
Yeah, that's kind of, I just said their moons were all in a Swani. And that nakshatra, which is on his ascendant. So then they all had like their those. I mean, his chart was consumed of like 2 houses, 10th house and 7th house. 10th house is status, leadership, fame. 7th house is women, partnerships, marriages, stuff like that. You know, that even one, like they were so correlated, everyone, even the guy, even the man that actually did like started the killings. His name was the Tex. His was like, even him, he might have loved him.
The strange thing, this is weird, because every time we do look at somebody dark, one's got a 7 and one's got a 9 life path number, Heidi.
Yeah.
Which one is it? I had to type all this up. So Susan Atkins, she was the 7 with the 7 birthday. Heidi's a 7. It doesn't mean to say everybody that's a 7 is going to go on and be like a killer, but I have weird taste too. It's the dark, you know, they can be very drawn to the occult. Yeah. Dark side, you know, she had a person, thing is, yeah, she had quite a few 7s in her chart. To do it quickly, this Susan Atkins. So yeah, she would be drawn to the dark side. It's like Scorpio energy, which can be used positively, but it's a dark, you know. And what I found surprising was Patricia was the life path number 9, the same as myself. And again, on the weaker side, there can be tyrants. 9s can be tyrants when they have not forgiven. She would have had major family issues. I haven't even looked into her background. She may have been abandoned by her family. I don't know if you know anything about her background.
No. You know what, Susan?
I could check after another time, but I quickly did this, and she would have had. She had a heart's desire 9, like he did, like Charles Manson. So were they more? Do you know if like him and her were closer, or was it not like that at all?
I didn't really get into that, yeah. But all I know is the one woman died of brain cancer. Brain
cancer, yeah.
That was in her. You could see that in her chart.
Now this Tex Watson, he's a 6. Now I've seen a lot of men that are on the weak side that can be rapists. Now that's quite a harsh thing for me to say. Roman Polanski is a 33-6. I did look at him. So this just shows the weaker side. Obviously, they're a healer, a master healer, a 33-6. But those guys are on the weak side. They can be vengeful. Again, they're usually abused in childhood. So I would say these people, yeah, he attracted damaged souls that were easily, they needed some structure, and he gave them it. But they must have been quite lost. The Susan Atkins with the 7s, I would say she was more drawn to the dark side of it all. That's just going on the numbers.
So one other thing about Polanski, I looked at his chart because, you know, Jenny mentioned, she's like, look him up because she said the big scam or whatever. And when I like looked at his chart, yeah, I mean, he's got some sketchy things, but it doesn't even look like it kind of matches up.
He got done for rape of a 13-year-old girl. It was years ago.
Well, it's not really matched with like this situation. You see, like I didn't look at the one girl's, like the other people were more intertwined, more interesting to me, their charts.
Well, wasn't it that he was married to Susan Tate, the one of them that got murdered?
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know that was the only connection I found. Didn't know. Was he connected in some other way then? This is how little I know about.
I don't know.
He was married to Sharon Tate, one of them that they murdered, and she was pregnant when they murdered her.
Yeah. This
is Roman Polanski. But yeah, he was. He did go to prison for raping a 13-year-old, but got out very quick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he doesn't have a perfect chart to say. He's got K2 conjunct Sun in the 12th house, so.
But it was strange because he got lots of 9s in his chart, which just shows positive or negative. It depends which way you go. These can be used positively. You could be a great healer and humanitarian, and it seems he went the other way.
They could start a cult and kill people. That's like, because that's really how that works. You know, if you have a powerful chart,
yeah,
it's one way or the other. That like I say, the surgeons or the serial killers. It's true because somebody that cuts somebody up.
Yeah.
That's why his chart to me doesn't remind me of a surgeon. His chart reminds me of a smart, smooth businessman, politician.
Roman Polanski.
No. Charles Manson. Yeah. Charles Manson doesn't have like the serial killer slasher chart. He has the business.
Yeah.
You know, he's got the, like, he literally probably wouldn't even want to see the blood and touch the blood. He would be like that. You know,
he was actually got money numbers and power. Like, yeah, he could have been very successful, like rich businessman in a different circumstance. Seriously.
But that nakshatra, all of his nakshatra is all about breakthrough, being that control factor, being that power. Like that person, if that was a woman, same thing. I couldn't stand her, to be honest with you. And that's probably why when I was looking at his chart at first, I'm like, God, this chart sucks. And I was thinking in my head, who does this remind me of? And I was like, Hillary Clinton. That's who's like all those planets and all that Libra, that Vishaka. It was so there. And
let me jump in real quick. This will be for a future date, but before I forget, if we could find the chart on Jack Parsons.
Okay.
I think Jack Parsons, that would be very interesting to read his chart because that guy is literally the rocket man. That guy is, if you look at Iron Man today and you look at the character, what is his name? Tony Stark. Tony Stark looks almost identical to Jack Parsons. And the character, I wonder the similarities that they play there. When the Babylon workings took place from January to March of 1946, it happened exactly 6 months prior to a swath of UFO sightings. In 1947, that was like the ultimate year for flying saucers being seen. I mean, tens of thousands. They saw them over the White House and stuff. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because was there a connection with Manson and Hubbard? Did he know Hubbard? Because I heard somebody say he followed some of Crowley's stuff. And obviously Crowley knew Hubbard and Hubbard knew Parsons. It would be interesting to see if there were similar charts with Parsons as well.
I think, didn't I have his chart? I think you had me look at that. I swear I saw that.
I'm thinking that you did, but it would be nice to get into more details. You might even still have it in your database.
I think I might.
Was he called John Whiteside originally? Is this the same? Have I got the right guy?
I don't know. That's a great question. I thought it was just Jack Parsons. I thought that was his.
Jack Parsons, rocket engineer.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got another name, John Whiteside.
Okay.
John Whiteside Parsons, but they call him Jack.
Gosh, I hope the charts we do today aren't going to be all these nakshatras that
He's a 9, like myself again. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, and they totally do. First one does. I knew it was going to happen. God. Okay.
This just shows, though, how a 9 can be used positive. You think Mother Teresa, Gandhi, and then you look at other people that are 9s. They can go, complete opposite.
I'm just seeing if I have that chart.
Occultist. Thelemite occultist.
Jack Parsons. Yeah, I have it in here.
I thought you might have. What does that compare? I remember now doing that. How close is his chart?
Well, kind of similar. So I don't know where we got this time, but okay. So this way, let's pretend like we don't know his time. What you would do is read him from the moon. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Saturn in the 4th, issues with the mother, moves away from the homeland, issues with being happy. 4, 5, 6, 7. Sun in the 7th, power. His father could have been like kind of a power struggle with father, and overbearing. 8th, he does have Mars and Mercury in Libra, just like, so planets in Libra, Swati, that's, you know, I mean, I don't see this. So what does this guy do? Oh, his Jupiter is in Sravana.
No, he's linked to Aleister Crowley, according to this. Was that what you were saying?
I don't necessarily want to say he was linked to Aleister Crowley, but I do know that he took a lot of research that Crowley did, and you know, he was into magic, he was into the occult, he was into rocket science, and he was also into ritualistic magic, sex magic, etc. So
that's in here for sure. That here we go with that, because Manson doesn't have that. Manson doesn't have the planets and all those, like the Satabisha. These are the healer. This is the moon in Uttar Bhattapadra. I tell everybody that that's the person that can put spells on people, literally. Should just do spells, tarot, telepathy, all that kind of stuff when you have your moon in this. So for sure. And you know what? Jupiter and Sravana can be like the minister, somebody that knows a lot of sacred knowledge. So
he was, oh wow, how spooky is this? He separated from his wife after having an affair with her sister Sarah, who then went off to leave him for Ron Hubbard. He was another number 9, and I think a complete nutcase. The Scientology, started Scientology.
Yeah. So Manson's chart just looks like to me like he should be sitting around this table with the Podestas and all of them, just part of their crew. That's it. What his chart looks like. All, you know, I say everybody that's in that party, like their charts are all very similar. Every single one of them. It's the same nikshatra. But like the Clintons and Podestas, they're more screwed up. Their moon is conjunct other things and like, you know, different nikshatras that are even worse. To be quite honest with you, that's what's scary. Trump's not like any of them. I had to stick my little nice comment.
I have to agree though. Like,
couldn't control it.
He's a 4. He's not. Some people say he's a 22-4, but I'm pretty sure the way I work it out, he's a 4. Trump. I mean, he seems like a nice guy compared to Manson, doesn't he?
So this Sleepy Dave wrote Charles Manson didn't kill anybody. So we already said that. So we did. I showed Tex's chart. That's who I looked up. I did his chart. So it's on here. Tex has a scary chart. Tex is the murderer for sure. You can see it. He actually physically did it. Yes.
They can be very vengeful. I'm talking, you know, someone that hasn't forgiven, and he would have been. They're the healers of the families. Children, these get abused. I bet if we looked into this Tex Watson, he's probably got quite an abusive childhood.
He did. And he had Rahu conjunct Venus. He was a mess. It was oversexed. He could have been raped. He could have had issues with, family issues, just all over the place.
And his heart's desire as an 8 was to be in charge. You know, he'd want that authority and to be in charge. This Tex, deep down, his heart's desire was to be that, according to numerology.
And yeah, you know what? I have that in my notes. Somebody said, do Hitler's chart. Okay, once again, here we go. Hitler had 2 planets in a Swani nakshatra. He had his sun and he had his Mercury. And there's like that's the dictator nakshatra, like the one that's the leader. It's also, but like a lot of great people come out of this nakshatra. People that are obsessed with equestrian, that, you know, are the healers, the doctors, the pharmacists, not like, you know, even their own Ayurvedic doctors, surgeons. So a lot of firefighters, paramedics come out because they just jump in. They don't have fears. They can just do things. So
you know, I've just noticed something. They all have a karmic debt apart from one person of 13.
Interesting.
Even his mother. I've just noticed that. I didn't realize earlier on. I think the only person that didn't was Linda Kasabian. All the rest had a karmic debt of 13, the death card number.
And is Linda the one that died?
I can't remember which one had brain. You mean the brain cancer? I can't remember if it was Linda or not. Let me have a look. I've got time.
No,
I just jumped out at me. I was like, hang on a minute. They've all got the same karmic debt apart from one of them.
Yeah, Susan is the one that passed away.
Oh, it was Susan. Okay. Susan Atkins, yeah. Wow. Roman Polanski and the Linda one didn't have, but all the rest had a karmic debt of 13, even Manson's mother.
Yeah, that's interesting. And Rahu and Ketu are the karmic planets. Like if you did their astrology matchups, I mean, it's just actually unbelievable how they're all intertwined and aligned. It's couldn't be any more, and that's once again, it's like this story that just plays itself out. It never, like even people that you're in a relationship with or something, this is going to be if Rahu and Ketu are on each other like this, it's a karmic relationship. It's something to learn from. I mean, we apparently picked this, what kind of karma we wanted to haul out. So in a way, you signed up for it.
Because you said my marriage was a karmic relationship.
Yeah.
And he had similar traits to Tex Watson. Same life path number as well.
You did.
My ex-husband.
Well, Tex Watson has 3 planets in Scorpio like me. Or that's what I'm saying. So my chart, I have a Mars K2 in my first house. Like what made him so violent and mad and angry was Mars and K2's aspect from the 12th house into so he has in his chart, there's aspects. I can't get into this. So if you're interested in learning about Vedic astrology, go to my channel 27, you'll learn all about it. But he's got in his 12th house, an aspect from the 12th house from K2, Mars, and Saturn. Then the 9/11 attacks happened with K2 and Mars conjunct, exact. So this is the kind of, it's violence. It's more violence. And I can tell you, when I was younger, when I was mad. Like it was frightening. Okay. When somebody did something to me, and it was almost kind of that exact scenario. Somebody made fun of me, like it would be crazy. Luckily I learned to calm it down. I have a Pisces moon. But other than that, who knows if I didn't find astrology. I'm not saying.
Has he got do you think he was sexually abused as a child?
Tex, yeah, he could have been, absolutely.
Yeah. Interesting. So all of those people separately, this wouldn't have happened, but come together collectively, and it's
because those women probably would have turned some of these women have amazing charts where they would be some of them it's a shame, actually. It's really a shame. And that's why I tell you to get your kids' astrology readings at 14 before they start making wrong decisions and hanging out with the wrong crowd. Because a chart, you let them loose, you don't keep them under control. This is how, God, it happened to me.
Yeah.
So if I would have had an astrology reading at 14, I wouldn't have done half the stuff that I've done. But then I probably wouldn't have done this, no regrets. But point is, people that have kids that are on drugs and all this stuff, that's because they're usually so smart or so, and they get with the wrong crowd. That mind, this absorbent mind by Rahu is all about drugs. Like I guarantee, you know what? And I watched something I bet he didn't do drugs. Bet he didn't. But he distributed.
No, it wouldn't like the loss of control.
Yeah.
He wouldn't like to lose control.
Uh-huh.
And drugs would make him feel out of control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's interesting, and it is amazing how they all align. And his time is, somebody had it down to the right second. I don't know how that's possible, but his chart is him. And even in his Navamsha chart, the chart he turns into, he's got Mars conjunct K2. And he's got planets in the 12th, meaning he turns into what he turns into. He can end up in jail. You know, he could have done that or became an astrologer. He took the wrong route.
Took the wrong route. Man, choose wisely. Choose wisely. All right, so we've been going for about 45 minutes, and let's get into the, if we can, please, the charts for the live audience. There's a few people that have hit that super chat. The first one that I'd like you to do is the one that Twitter sent, TW Hitter. You can see the information. I just put it in the chat box there. He put all the information.
Okay.
And then there's looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The Twitter it just says 1969.
1969 at 10:28 a.m.
Yeah, I don't see a birthday.
Denver, Colorado.
1st of May.
Oh, May 1st. Oh, I see.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention?
Same day as my grandfather, the one that was the 22-4. Sorry.
Do you want to
Nice.
start?
Yeah, I can go because I just need that. So
May
this-
1st, 1969.
16, 17, 18. Oh, wow. Guess what life path number they've got?
What?
No, I'm not
Nice.
saying they're going to be Charles.
5.
No.
24.
20, yeah, 22-4.
What?
And my grandfather was born on that day, but obviously a different year.
Is it that rare?
They're more, the master numbers are rarer, but it's the 33s and 44s that are more rare. Let me just double check that. I'm getting 16, 17. Yeah, so they've got a one. So this person has got a 1 birthday, leadership. Like, you know, this person will be great at running their own business, corporation. I don't know what they do, but master number 22-4, life path. So you've just heard us talking about what on the positive a 22-4 can be. Bill Gates, Richard Branson, people like that. It's what you could generate, you know, and it's about leaving a lasting legacy, but a positive one, preferably, not a negative one. Charles Manson clearly did leave a legacy, but a negative one, because everybody, even my son, knows about him, you know.
Yeah.
And this person has a 6 attitude number. So the first impression that people get of them, is this a male? Isn't it?
I don't know.
This Twitter one. Oh, no, it's female.
Okay.
Well, anyway, the first impression people get is the healer, the teacher, the counselor. So you'd be great at that sort of thing as well. This is just a snippet. Your other 3 numbers are from your names, which we're not doing tonight. So you're in a year 7, which is about going within. What do you want out of life? Where are you going? Like, you may go deeper into things like astrology, numerology. If you're into this sort of thing, which you wouldn't be here if you weren't, it's about you might go deeper, study deeper. Next year, I want to say to you, aim as high as you can, because it's a brilliant business year, career year. This person would be brilliant at running their own company if they don't already. That's just really a quick snippet.
Very creative. So this person's a Gemini ascendant, Purnavasu. This is somebody it's the star. It's really the star of limitless boundaries, bouncing back. You can do anything, you know, just the more you give, the more you get. It's one of those things. It's somebody that even if you have hardships, you can hit the rock bottom and you can come back. It's just endless opportunities. Very knowledgeable. Some people that build things, people that are builders, whether they be architects, if they're architects, build money, you know, like any like money schemes. I mean, it's like it could be anything, building something, renovating, redoing. But with this nakshatra, I would say Padatu, this is somebody that might, you know, do something more along the lines with investments, very clever with investments and money, like, you know, just doing stuff like this for a multitude of reasons, because they have a perfectionist thing in their chart too. Jupiter conjunct K2 is somebody that's like a natural perfectionist when it comes to, you know, details and stuff. Now it's in the 4th house, so There are probably issues with being happy, issues with, you know, mother issues for sure. Probably, maybe you don't want kids. Maybe you do. Maybe you had issues with your kids, possibly. Your moon is in the 5th in Swati. So Swati is, you know, the positive sides of Swati. I was just talking bad about it, but my Saturn's in Swati. So, you know, that's somebody that is, when your moon is like this, the way you think. So that was how you act, the way your life path is. The way you think is like the entrepreneur, the business person, somebody that's like the marketing revolutionist, somebody that is always creative and really good at trading deals, somebody that can sell anything. They can trade, you know, whatever they want to trade. But your Mars is in the 6th house in Scorpio, so you could have enemies and stuff, but you'll beat them. Male issues with males more so than women. But this makes you one hell of an investigator. You're like, you are the investigator. Whether you investigate money, ways to make money, ways to, I mean, it's just, you have one of those charts. But then you're really creative. You have Venus conjunct Rahu in the 10th house. So you might work with women. I mean, it's all over the place. This could be somebody that works with women, that's a healer, that does tarot, that is a musician, that's a dancer, that's, you know, all those creative things too. You have this crazy practical obsessive side where you like things done certain ways, and then, or a writer. But then you have this whole other side of you that wants to probably just fly out into outer space. Hopeless romantic that wants, you know, all this love, romance and stuff. And honestly, you have problems, because when you have Venus conjunct Rahu, you'll get into all the wrong relationships, or you might cheat, you might leave a lot, you know, you'll just kind of never be happy. But I would say if it doesn't go that way, then that will go in your 10th house. So this is more of your career. So, I mean, quite honestly, this could be somebody that like sleeps with people at work. I'm just giving an example. It doesn't mean you do at all, but that's just what it could be. It could be somebody that meets their husband at work, okay? That works with women, that helps women, but also could have issues with women at work too. Random issues with women. I would think you do something with finances, real estate though. Okay, so transits.
Yeah, the master builder, make great accountants, don't they? Builders, housing.
Yeah, actually, a lot of people, I'm in the home building industry. I sell new construction, and almost everybody in all of my partners and stuff all have planets in front of Vasu, because it's like the architect, the divine architect, somebody that knows how to build, visionaries.
And that's what a 22-4 is, visionary, master builder.
You're very psychic. Like, you're like a detective, psychic, creative master. You're like the jack of all trades. Literally, you probably are the jack of all trades.
So used positively, very powerful.
Okay, so here we go. Definitely we're having some relationship issues. Here comes Heidi's tarot. Ready? What do you think it is? It's all reversed. Okay, so Saturn just went into your 7th house too. So right now the pot will be stirred with relationships. There's relationship things going on. So this card. Okay, I'm not even going to tell you what the cards are. The Empress reversed, the Lovers reversed. I have a feeling that there are relationship issues that are going on, possibly. And if not, maybe it's business partnerships, but the Lovers is typically a relationship, and it's reversed. So I would say you're going to kind of weed out all the nonsense. You might be worrying about money and stuff right now. You could even, let's see, there's big change in your life going on, big change. And it can't be,
sorry, I didn't mean to. I got the King of Cups and the 5 of Cups. I mean, relationship, I would say too.
Yeah. And I just got the 6.
That's loss and regret.
Yeah, so ditch the person that's causing you any problems, if there is one.
Yeah, because 4s or 22-4s aren't very good at that. They don't like breakups, really. They don't bounce back easily. Anyway. Okay. Who's next? Who did you want to go with next, Heidi?
Rex, do we just...
Yeah, well, if we could go to the next one, we'll do
map.
Marshall, just because the Marshall as
Somebody's son.
he's got the second highest on the super chat, ladies and gentlemen. So he's going second. How cool is that?
So it's March, or it's February.
I'm sorry, Mashal, not Marshall, unless the R was missed there. But the date is there, and this is for.
This is somebody's son.
So that's really cool because you brought up earlier you should get a reading for your kids, and somebody said, well, if I'm going to get a reading for my son or my daughter, should they be here with me, or should this be behind the back sort of thing?
This is somebody's kid?
Yes. His son.
He's sitting there?
he says, tell it how it is. Tell it how it is.
Heidi's read for my son, not to his face, but she was...
All right, and this son's old. This isn't like a baby.
Yeah, it's not a young one.
February 18, 1990. You saw that, right? All right.
You're not going to devastate a little toddler. He's like right there. He's like, Mom, she just said I'm going to have problems with my thoughts.
No, but let me tell you something. So to the son, if I would, at 28 years old, if you would have told me that I was going to, when I was married with real estate, blah, 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 that I was going to be doing astrology, divorced within 2 years, as a loan officer and doing this, I would have laughed in your face. I would have said, you're insane. So keep in mind, when I say to you, these are things that will happen, I promise you. So you just have to like watch out for them and make sure you navigate the right decisions. Okay. Did you start? You want to start?
Yeah, I can go first if you like. So this young man is, well, he's not so young, 27. Life path number 3. So this is the creative one, the artist, the comedian, Memphis. So anything, his path in life is creativity, art, music. It might be speaking it might be writing it, extremely creative. They call it the sunshine number in numerology. Biggest life lesson, or one of them, is to focus. If they're really good at something, they need to stick at it, because they can very often, I call it shiny ball syndrome, where they jump from one shiny new thing to another, and instead of like focusing on what they're really good at. And in childhood, though this person isn't as young now, often they show signs of this, but it can be shut down by the parents, or the parents don't encourage. They need to encourage that creativity. He's got a 9 birthday, which is the humanitarian, but it's also extremely creative as well.
Yes, it is.
And it's got a master number 11 too, attitude number, sensitive, intuitive. I mean, we're just looking at 3 of the numbers here. Extremely creative, extremely intuitive. That needs encouraging. And he's in year 3 till the new year, so he's coming out. This has been a creative year, or needing to be more creative. Get it out there, have fun, learn to reduce drama, learn to manage money. That can be the downsides, where they can trust other people with their money and, you know, get ripped off. They have to be careful of that.
So you're a Scorpio moon. Okay, I'll start on the chart a little bit, just so we can. So Virgo ascendant in the nakshatra of Hasta. So this is your first house is going to be how you act. It's going to be how people see you in the world. It's going to be your life path and how that, will go. Now it's in the nakshatra of Hasta. Okay, so when your ascendant is in Hasta, there's a multitude of things you could do. Virgos are extremely talented. They're perfectionists. They like to think that they are. They like things a certain way. Sometimes they're procrastinators, though, because they like things a certain way. So, you might be messy. Your room might be a mess, but when you do clean, it's done to like the neat and tidy. Everything's perfect, And if you're not like that, you'll get that way eventually. You'll really be interested in cleanliness and stuff. You're good with your hands. You could fix anything. You can probably, you literally have the golden hands that can literally fix and heal and do anything. Handy as well. Also, people that are really good cooks, good chefs come out of this nakshatra as well. Cooks, healers, business, anything. Just Virgos they like things done a certain way. But Hasta, you might even be a good boxer. Okay, but what happens is when you have Hasta in your ascendant, when you're younger, it's like somebody that could be could steal something, once or whatever, get in trouble for that kind of stuff. All right, but your moon is in the 3rd house in Scorpio. So you act like a certain way, but then your moon is in Scorpio. So you should go to my channel, channel 27. I have a whole series on Scorpios. So the way you think in your head is totally different. You're very secretive, very quiet. Probably don't like, I mean, you're not quiet, but you keep behind the scenes. You're under the radar. You like to, you know, your mother might stress you out a little bit because the moon in Scorpio can be like sometimes an overbearing mother, but you know, not always. It just, there can be some issues sometimes. This is very good for creativity. The third house is the house of improvement. It's somebody that's going to have to put a lot of hard work. You're going to have to work hard. It's not going to come easy. And when you do, but you're probably very competitive. Like once you find that niche, you're going to be very competitive, very passionate once you do find what you like. But, you know, moon in Scorpio is controlling thoughts, issues with relationships, issues kind of with control too, being lied to, trust issues, all those things. Now you have Venus, Saturn, and Mars in the fourth. Okay, this is, the fourth house is homes, mother, homeland. So you and your mother could fight. I mean, it's just the way it goes. Sorry, but you could. You could also be really good in real estate. You could be good at fixing real estate. You could be, but this is more like artistic. So, you know, at Venus, Saturn, and Mars, you're artistic. Whether you're painting houses or painting murals or, you know, in philosophy, you're definitely obsessed with research and knowing the truth, knowing the facts. And then your fifth house, you've got Mercury and Rahu conjunct, your knowledge. Like you might even be a write like computer software or something type of thing. Just very, very creative, smart with technology, smart with, you make a great politician too. And musician as well, music.
Yeah.
So you have one of those really artistic charts. And if there's anything you want to do artistically, you should do it for sure. Okay, I would say, because it's going to be big.
And now if I can jump in here for just a moment too, because it looks like several people have hit that super chat button and they've left their details and information. And I think we can do a few more here on this show, but if we can't finish them all up here, would it be okay if they went over to channel 27 afterwards? And if you could read their charts on channel 27 after this?
Yeah, we could do that.
I owe you one.
If Heidi was, I'm happy to carry on after if Heidi wants to.
We should just do it now because I have to be done by 9.
Oh yeah, that's fine. If you guys can finish up, that would be wonderful.
Yeah. So why don't I just I'll copy these notes.
Okay.
So if you want to watch this live readings, it's going to be on channel 27.
Let me leave a link right now in the comment section. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave a link in the comment section for you also, so you can just click on it. And I'm also going to leave Trisha's website as well, but make sure to go directly after this to Heidi's channel 27 on YouTube. That way you can get your reading done, because I know that there's a few people that hit that super chat and we haven't got to yet, but Heidi and Trisha are going to take this information and do these readings for you on channel 27, literally like probably in the next
literally.
All right. Right on. And I would also like to just say thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thank you, moderators. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, Trisha. I apologize I have to cut this short, but unfortunately I had previous arrangements that I forgot about because I'm always doing like a million things at once. And that's my fault, but definitely want to have you both back on next week if it's possible.
Yeah,
Good.
definitely.
Groovy. All right. Right on. Well, ladies and gentlemen.
Have a great vacation.
Yeah, it's just going to be a night out, you know, but I'll be back in in Grandma's garage tomorrow. Certainly excited to get back there. And oh, hey, before we go though, I just want to let you guys know I did bring an EMF detector. I've got just to find out, hey, you know, you ever go on vacation into a big city and you're in a decent hotel, a 3 or 4 star hotel, and you just want to know what the electronic magnetic frequencies are beaming? Well, it's not too bad. It's hanging out at less than 1.0 microwatts per square meter.
Well, I noticed you didn't have your protective hat on, so.
Yeah, I don't need it today. I've just got, I've actually got a protective force field that I purchased from getthetea.com. It's called colostrum. I love it. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, no, I'm joking, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not really joking, but I am. So be excellent to each other. There you go. I just showed you the EMF readings. Channel 27. Trisha, you're awesome. Heidi, you're awesome.
Thank you, Rex.
Thank you so much.
See you next week or whenever.
See you next week. Be excellent to each other, everybody.
In Capricorn, and I've heard him say he was the devil and all that stuff. It's Capricorn is the devil card. Okay, there's a dark side of Capricorn, guys. There really is. And and it's all about law and order, but throw Rahu there with that, conjunct his moon the way he thinks. He's a dictator. I mean, that's just the way it is. He looks like a politician. He looks like one of the people that are in office, like the Podestas. His moon in Rahu is in Sravana. Guess who else has their moon, or they have planets in that? John Podesta. Look at this. Same things. I mean, it's really actually kind of amazing.
You took your screen down.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
I called him a dictator earlier. That was the exact word I used for this guy, dictator.
Okay, and real quick, I'm just going to say, and then, so I kind of thought, well, maybe he is about these girls. I looked at all the women's charts that went to jail, that are in jail, and the one that passed away, okay? And the Tex Watson. Real quick to sum it up, his Rahu and Venus, this Tex Watson, are on that guy, on Manson's Venus. So that's right there. Also, all these planets in Scorpio, this guy, I mean, you can see why all these women were obsessed with him. Susan's Atkins, her moon was in Swanee, and she had K2 and Vishaka. Like, if you just look at these patterns, they're all intertwined together. Linda, moon in a Swanee, once again. So their moon is into his first house. There's a connection there, following him. That's why they listened to everything he said. And then Patricia, she had K2 and Vishaka, which is all those planets like Hillary has that I just said. So, I mean, it's there. He's crazy. And then last thing I'm going to say, the day he died, or Sunday night. Look at this. I always say, everybody worries about 8th house being a death transit house. It's not. I always say the 7th house. I've noticed my brother died with 7th house transits, my grandmother, everybody. And look at this. Jupiter conjunct Venus in the 7th, day he died. His moon was in the 8th in Scorpio. Once again, 8th house is a death house, so it is getting triggered. And then this Rahu K2 return. I always tell everybody, be careful on that Rahu K2 return. This is obviously a different story. This is a little bit different, but it 100% aligns big time. So he's a real person, I would assume. And, all these women and all the men, I keep wanting to call him Rex, Tex, Watson, they all are aligned. One thing else I'm going to say about his ascendant nakshatra, his ascendant nakshatra is in a Swanee pot of 4. And literally, my notes say this. People born under this are learning the science of the body very quickly. They have tremendous interest in fixing and dissecting the body. The nakshatra produces most physicians and doctors. So you see how this goes this way. But then you get the loose cannon, like the Manson or anything. He doesn't have the slaughtering there, but he has the want to slaughter, for sure. Not do the acts. It's not there. But he actually, the 8th Lord goes into the 7th, which would be why he has those people do all the killing for him. So it's all there.
Yeah.
Done. He did it. He's a sketchball. He was a manipulative jerk. He was not a good person.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rex Bear Elite Project. How the heck are you? I just have to hit the mute button here, or we're going to get an echo. I've got Heidi V and Trisha G today. We're going to get deep into the Vedic star charts and numerology of Charles Manson. Now, this guy is a trip. I just watched some of a podcast that Jeff Doherty did. I didn't have the chance to watch the whole thing, the Christian Whistleblower, and he was discussing some of the possibilities of Manson being a patsy, like actually wanting to be in prison. And he was talking about some of the possibilities, how the Manson murders and some of the events that were unfolding around that time frame were actually to get rid of the hippie movement, to get rid of the anti-war protesters. So it's very interesting. But thank you so much for coming on the show, ladies. It's great to talk with both of you. I'm kind of on vacation right now, so that's why there's a different background. This isn't going to be a 3-hour show like it normally is. It's going to be about an hour. And after we discuss deep the Charles Manson numerology and Vedic star charts, then we're going to do live readings at the second half of the show. So if you want to get put on top of the list, you guys know how fast it picks up. Hit that super chat button and you'll get put on top of the list. So thanks a lot for coming on the show. How the heck are you?
Great.
Fantastic. You know, it's just another beautiful day in paradise today. Let me tell you, real excited to be where I'm at right now in Austin, Texas. So what is going on with the stars? What do the stars say about Charles Manson?
All right, I guess I'll start. Well, I've been studying his chart for a decent amount of time today. So I kind of have, I'm going to send you, I'm going to share my screen real quick so you can see what I'm looking at. You know, I heard last night Jeff did part 1 and I watched a little bit, but then I fell asleep because it was on at 3 in the morning. So, you know, I heard a little bit. I've heard that there's a little bit of a conspiracy, you could say, with it, but I'm going to tell you. So I'll just tell you how I would read his chart. Okay. Because this is his time and his birth certificate apparently is being auctioned off. So he's in Aries ascendant. Okay. And it's in the nakshatra of Aswani and it's pot of 4. So an Aries ascendant, you know, that's going to be a go-getter, somebody that kind of is quick on their feet, quick comprehension. He's short, athletic. I'm pretty sure he's very short. He looks very short in the videos. It definitely can be aggression and firmness. It's ruled by K2. So, you know, this right here is just, it's like trailblazers, strong-minded, strong head. Uranus in the 1st house makes you rebellious. But then we go to his 4th house. His 4th house is K2, issues with the mother. Lack of motherly feeling, all that stuff, lack of happiness, no fulfillment. And I'm trying to do this kind of fast. So then we go to the 5th house right here. This is his 5th house. And his 5th house has Mars in it. The first lord goes into the 5th house. His Mars is in Purva Falguni. And that nakshatra is can get violent. It's the oversexed one. It's the swindling, you know, so it's definitely the sketchy part of Leo, if there is a sketchy part of Leo. And it's ruled by Venus. It really doesn't like Mars. So that's another thing. Okay, then his 7th house. He's got Sun, Venus, Jupiter, Mercury. You know whose chart this looks like? Hillary Clinton's. Look, ready? Look at all these planets she has in Vishaka. So
you just look at it.
When I say that, you know, I mean, that's the first one I thought of. It was her, okay? So Vishaka is like personal breakthroughs. People that can be very liberal or extremists anyway. So, you know, with him having all these planets conjunct, Sun, Venus, and now this is why he was very artistic, why he was really good with music, but, you know, it goes both ways. This is also why he sold women for sex. He was sold the girls for prostitutes because his Venus being in the 7th house, it's like trading women. I've actually done another chart of somebody actually in prison for sex, getting in trouble for selling girls. And long story, can't explain how. And he had a chart look just like this too. All right, and then we go to his 10th house. This is what threw me off. Moon, Rahu, Sun conjunct. So I don't see anything in his 12th house. 12th house are jails. He spent his whole life in jail. But if you look at his divisional charts, which I can't go that far right now, but right here, divisional charts, planets in the 12th, Navamsha chart, K2 conjunct Mars, that can be very violent. This is all intertwined. And then also he has Moon, Rahu, Sun, or Saturn conjunct. And let me tell you, the 10th house is power, status, fame. It's your ego. It's your career. It's also just, you know, how you are in the public. So when you have your Moon and Rahu there, and that's like somebody that's obsessed with being famous, especially